Okay, so let's draw the box and whisker plot for the collision data. Now, you may not get the scale right on your number line the first time. It happens. Sometimes it'll take you 3 or 4 times to get the scale right. I've done this a couple of times before, so I'm going to go draw mine here, and I'm going to draw a break in my data. So I'm going to draw a break right here. The reason I'm going to do this is because I don't really want to have to count all the way up to 21,147. You'll see in just a second here why I'm doing this. Okay, so I'm going to count by basically by 500s. So here's 0, and there's going to be negatives over here, which is just fine. So this is 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. 4,000. Let's just keep doing this. And then out here, I'm just going to put my little outlier number out here. We're going to just pretend that the number line goes all the way. This is a break in it. I don't know if you saw that in previous classes, that if you had to make a big jump in your graph, you can do this. And this says that kind of like, I cut this big piece out of my number line. I just basically cut a big piece out of there. Okay, so now our median, if you recall, our median was 1805. So I'm going to put a line here for my median. It's approximately right there. My quartile 1 was 735. So I'm going to put a line where quartile 1 was. Quartile 3 was at 4668. So my quartile 3 was approximately right here. I'm going to draw that box. Draw that box in. Okay, beautiful. Now we need to talk about our fences. When we, earlier on the last video, we calculated where our lower fence and our upper fence were. So my lower fence was way down here. It was a negative number, so I'm just going to put this way down here. It doesn't matter because it was a negative number. None of our values were negative, so it's not going to really factor into things. Our upper fence, on the other hand, is going to matter. Our upper fence was 11,799. So I'm going to put my upper fence about right here. This is a good spot for it. So that's my upper fence. So now let's take care of our whiskers. So when we are drawing our whiskers, as you recall, we draw the whisker from the box to the highest value that is still inside the whisker, or still inside the fences. So my highest value that is still inside the fences is 10,034. So I'm going to draw this all the way up here to approximately 10,034. That's my highest value that is still inside the whiskers. And I'm going to label this for you really quick here so you can have that. Okay, now I need to draw the other whisker on the other side to the smallest number that is still inside my fences. My smallest number still inside the fences is 180, which is approximately right here. Now, the biggest point of using box and whisker plots is to find the shape of your data and to determine if there's any outliers. This is kind of what we are doing by drawing the box and whisker plots. And we can see where we can compare two of them, and we can see where 50% of our data lies, and where the middle 50 is. And it's really not for exact numbers as much as it is give you an overall picture of your data. So now I have my whiskers, I have my box. Now I need to take care of that outlier. So I have that one outlier, the 21,147. So you just put an asterisk. Do not forget the asterisk. We'll put that asterisk over there. So we have our box and whisker plot. Make sure that you ask me questions if you are get stuck on this or if you're confused about this. So I want to show you, so we're going to, I want to show you, go back to the interest rate plot. We have the interest rate plot right here, and I'm going to go back and show you what this looks like compared to a graph of it, what it would look like if I graphed it with a bar graph. So here's, actually this would be a histogram. So take a look at a histogram similar. So you see right here is looks like the interest rate. You notice how the whisker on the left is longer than the whisker on the right. My median is kind of towards the right, more towards the quartile 3. If you look at this would be data that is skewed left because most of my data is here in this left whisker. If you look at the one we just created, most of my data is in the right whisker. So looking at this would be skewed right. So my collision data would be skewed right. My interest rate data here is skewed left. So if the box plot, if the whiskers are pretty much equal on both sides, this would be symmetric. So you can tell the skew by looking at which whisker is longer, where most of your data is. So if the left whisker is longer, it's skewed left. If the right whisker is longer, it's skewed right. All right, that is it for this lesson. Go ahead and try the homework for this and then come back and watch chapter 4.